So, greetings, ladies and gentle players. Today, I bring you an interesting thing. I bring you a story. A story courtesy of the name you are seeing above our heads right now. Story courtesy of Lee Changho. Lee Changho, for those of you who may have lived under a rock for the last 20 years, used to be the top player in the world, and he held that top player for about 10 years or so. He was the undisputed king of Go for quite some time. Alas, his downfall, you might say, was it due to AI? Nay, his downfall came before AI. His downfall came because a set of very, very aggressive players realized the best way to deal with someone with a specific style is to start punching him in the face at the start of the game so they can't fall back into their style. That was sadly, what brought on the downfall of Lee Changho. Since then, our poor, lovely little Lee Changho. He went from number 1, not just in Korea, but in all of the world. He went from number 1, way out of the top 5, way out of the top 10, way out of the top 25, out of the top 50, out of the top 100 in the world. His current ranking, I don't even know. All I know, it's below 120 somewhere. That's all I could tell you. And today, I have a game where he went up against Shinmin Jun, another professional 9-dan, a younger professional 9-dan, who is top 25. That is how our story gets interesting. Because on one hand, we have a player used to be at the top of his game, now unfortunately fallen a little bit by the wayside. Iliascu says he is 154 against Shinmin Jun, who is currently ranked top 24 in the world. So there's a bit of a discrepancy here. A teensy tiny bit of a discrepancy here. But hang on, the story gets better. So, given that little bit of a strength disparity, you would expect this younger professional 9-dan, who is ranked much, much higher than Lee Changho currently, to have, let's say, an easy time of it, shall we say. Alas, that is not the case, and today we are going to find just what Lee Changho had to do to secure himself a victory against a player you don't usually expect someone to secure a victory against, especially this easily, shall I say? Because you see, dear viewers, Shinmin Jun, let's go ahead and raise the volume of that a little bit. That seems a little bit wussy. There we go. Sounds a bit better. You see, Shinmin Jun takes on all of the modern things. The AI variations, if you will. And there is a fascinating thing about Lee Changho. He has not. Some of the older professionals have. There are some older professionals who have completely gone in and fully embraced all the AI variations and have adapted their play accordingly. One thing I love about Lee Changho is, for whatever reason, he hasn't. Case in point, we've got double 4-4s from Lee Changho. We have a 4-4-3-4 from Shinmin Jun. When Shinmin Jun comes idly by and smacks the older player right in the face with the new style. I am taking your 3-3, says Shinmin Jun. I am going to force you to stare at all of the reasons why you should embrace this new style of play and cast off your old way of playing. You will learn from this game, I am sure. Changho blocks. And from here, in a normal professional game, these days, you would expect a few different moves here. Maybe the extension, and then black would either play the 1-point jump or maybe even F18. And then white would get Sente and play elsewhere. The unfortunate flip side of that is there'd be huge follow-ups for black. You might say this is going to be played. The small knight, right? And from the small knight, there's... Oh, what's that Joseki called nowadays? Where, black just splits and it goes into like a crazy four-group fight that just kind of spirals all over like a fourth of the board. I know it's got some name. Is it the flying knife? Is that what it's called? Is that what it's calling now? Okay. Yeah, flying knife. Thanks, Switch Chat. Yeah, that thing. It might as well be the Taisha Junehug. And sure enough, white does play this, but not for the reason you would expect. He plays it and backs off. Once again, not doing, that new stuff that you might be tempted to try out in your games. The stuff that we see in all too many pro games nowadays. He is keeping it nice and simple. Unfortunately, no one's really playing nice and simple nowadays. So the question becomes, will Shin Min-jun this game be able to fully utilize all of the new theories, all of the new variations, to show this older player a thing or two? Or will the simpler style prevail? Good questions. Black extends, white pushes. This variation is not too far from as if we had just gone ahead and played here, because we are getting about the exact same variation. All that's missing is white playing here first, right? Almost the exact same variation. So it's a variation that, I'd pick. I like it. I like it. Unfortunately, Shin Min-jun must be feeling quite happy right now. He sees this older player with this older style, knowing that he now has Sente. And with Sente, he takes a corner. In my mind, putting white in check. Why do I say that? Well, let me bring out my pen tool here, because I like it better than OGS's. Come here, pen tool. Hello. Thank you. I say it for this reason. 3. Unfortunately, the golden number in Go is currently 3. You 3-3 your opponent. You take 3 corners. And now we have an issue. That issue is points. At the end of the day, we need more points than our opponent. And if this is going to be, let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say this is 15. Let's say this is going to be about 10. And we can probably expect at least 12 here. Well, okay. That's now at least 37 points for black. We cannot definitively say that we have 37 points for white. We have a corner. That corner is vulnerable, as we all know. And we've got a wall to nowhere. Got a wall to nowhere. So what is white to do? Is white going to even the odds and counter 3-3? Nay, we already know he's not going to do that. Instead, Changho this game plays a simple game. Protects his other enclosure. There. Done. Can't really be 3-3'd now. Nice and simple. Why is this not a real board, by the way? Because I want to play games tonight as well. And if I rearrange the room that I'm in to set up for the real board, then I have to go over multiple real boards, and I won't be able to play tonight. Simple as that. It takes too long to pull everything down and put everything up, and then take everything down and put everything back to where it was. Maybe one day in the future, I will have a spare room where I can have a real board completely set up, all the time, and I could just flip a switch and go over there and go over boards, go over real board games, easy peasy, without having to remove everything. Alas, that's not today. So Lee Changho plays a simple game, but Shinmin Jun knows that influence is a scam. There is nothing over here to use that wall. So what is he going to do? He is going to make sure there's nothing here that can use that wall. And thus he splits. Splits off center even. Because if you split this way, you run into a little bit of an issue. Because you could get hit from here, get put entirely close to that wall, and then get essentially completely enclosed. You're not dead, but this is turned into influence again. This is expanding huge, and let's face it, at the end of the day, you're going to get what here? 1, 2, 3 points? Like, come on. Ew. Ew, right, disgusting. Disgusting, 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 So we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. So we play us here. Now, even if we play down here, the extension's only over to here, so it's hard to fully enclose this and connect back to the wall with the same variation because this is so far apart. So Shinmin Jun says, ha ha ha, Lee Changho. I will tear down your influence. You will not be able to use it as effectively. Get wrecked, good sir. But Lee Changho is a patient person. Big move. Sente. Big move. Not necessarily Sente, but still big. White does find that black will answer it. He doesn't necessarily have to, because you can still live here, I think. It's a little bit... No, actually, you do die, don't you? I lied. That is Sente, because you can block here. No, yeah, you're right. Because, yeah, this dies, and you can't clamp here, can you? Because he does survive this. It's ugly, but it will survive. Okay. Well, I suppose technically this could still live, but now no one's happy. I mean, this is only 2 points, and the outside got smashed to pieces because of it. So no one would play this way. No one would play that way. So black defends. Keeps his 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe 10 points like we mentioned previously. Okay. Forcing move's done. Now we extend. Something which, in my opinion, a lot of people greatly underestimate. Because if black has 10 points on the top side, and white, let's say, has 15 points and can easily continue growing to 20, it's hard to wrap your head around the purpose of the 3-3 here. Because if the enclosure was obtained, we could expect about 15 points from our opponent in that corner, right? We expect, back up one. We'd expect, like, the 15 points that we commonly see, like, over in here, right? So he's still kind of getting the points this way, but he's getting influence, too. So let's see what black wants to do here. Black extends, saying, I'm going to live, and then I will reduce, and then you will lose. We have the territory, a base. Black is happy in his 3 corners. He's settling. White keeps out of corner. Black extends. White gets to attack. Now, I will admit, if we were 100% bleep blooping, I think to prevent exactly this variation, Black would need to consider playing this move before doing the extension stuff. I think that's how that works. Right? Then you could try to go into this variation. Hello? Wait, excuse me? Yeah, that's hard to do. Maybe here, here, here. But even so, you can still see there's a lot of points to be had, even in this area, right? It's friggin' huge. And it could even be expanded upon fairly easily. The influence that is given away from the 3-3 is not to be underestimated. So we have this variation. White's attacking. Black says, I'm out of here. And from here, oh, good old Shinmin Jun knows what he has to do. Seal up the corner, reduce the middle, win the game. That's all he has to do. All he has to do. You can picture a smirk on his face, like, you know what? I got this. Against Gramps over here, I got this. So what is White going to do in order to counter this, you might ask yourself? Is he going to extend super far and try to build, maybe at A or B? Will he 3-3 his opponent to take away one of the corners and thus tie the game back up? What will he do? What will he do? It is a question. If you said to yourself, he will simply take a few more points and thus threaten to enclose, you are correct, and I don't know how you got there. So there's a lot of stuff to be said about this move. Some of it, believe it or not, comes back to the fact that this is still very much a variation. Okay, that's not a variation, I lied. It comes back to this variation, where you're going to probably have to connect here to prevent the cut, which is going to allow for, you know, easy life in the corner. If, however, this is already in play, then this has already been dealt with. Therefore, it doesn't have to be played as such, and you can play more aggressive moves to kill. Fascinating, isn't it? It's okay. We see multiple purposes to this move. But Black's like, I don't care. I have my points. I will outvalue you, and you will lose. It is as simple as that, old man. What are you going to do now? Yeah. He played a small knight into a 2-space extension. And you might be asking yourself, how can he play this? It's actually quite simple. One thing that Changho is very good at, one thing he is absolutely amazing at, is knowing how much territory he has. If this stays White's, then he has almost 50 points on the board. If the bottom stays White's with what he already has, that's 50 friggin' points on the board, just from getting the extension off of the wall that Black gave him, and then taking a corner. Isn't that interesting? Hello, Z-Chen Mike. Welcome. Isn't that interesting indeed? It's okay. Black takes away big point. Super big point. Now, to be fair, This is still like worth the 10. This is worth 15 at least, probably more, and so is this. Black does have a lot of territory. It's just that, unfortunately, against someone who's really good at knowing what the score is, White's not he's not afraid. Take the corner. Give him the wall. He'll use to make points. Grabs a corner enclosure. Build off and make points. And now with Sente, he's going to attack. Why is he attacking? Because the opening's pretty much done for. Like, the corners are spoken for. The sides are spoken for. The center isn't easily buildable right now, so it makes sense to attack the weakest group on the board, or to invade. And the weakest group on the board for black right now is, hey, it's this one. This one right here. So he pokes at it. White counters by getting greedy. He's not going to just fall back. Oh, no, 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 no. He's not going to just fall back and make shape and allow more points to go to his opponent. That is not what he is going to do. He's going to challenge his opponent, but by doing so, black opens himself up to an attack. Now we have a problem. We cannot Hane here. So black extends. If we Hane here, there's a crosscut. Now, yes, you could play here, I suppose, if you really, really want. Spoiler, you really, really don't. Because this is not something that we call shape. We call this a mistake. Like, what are you going to do? Play this? Really? This is how you're going to go into mid-game with? Like, this doesn't even have a full eye yet. Like, gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. So he turns. Okay. Connect. And once again, black now puts white in check. Why do I say that? Because he's trying to get rid of all of the territory here. Does this sound familiar? This sounds familiar, doesn't it? He's trying to remove all the points this wall just obtained, because then the only thing that white has is the bottom of the board. While black's flashing 3 corners, he will win the game by default. There won't be enough points. So, boom. That's check right there. If white can't move out of this position positively, he loses the game. Right here, right now. Move 35. Can't find a positive path forward, he will lose. Extends. Group's not alive yet. Black chases. This extension down is big because it releases pressure off the group because he got an emergency connection. But black is the high head, 2 and 3. White counters, saying, I will not lose my stones, good sir. White is now laughed at by black, saying, you will not lose your stones, but you obtained nothing so far. Just second line points, where before you had 20. More poking. Into last but not least, he's gotten away. This is the thing you see over and over in your games, and now Shin Min Jun, no doubt laughing maniacally at the board in front of Lee Changho, is now doing the same thing to the man who was number 1 for 10 years straight. Take the corner away, reduce it point blank, and you wonder where the amateurs we play get it from, don't you? You wonder where they get it from, don't you? Well, here you go. by a top 24 player. Hanging out all nice and pretty. So, what do we do here? What do we do here? Do we invade? Do we reduce? Believe it or not, this game remains extremely... Ooh, bad timing, son. This game remains extremely simple. It's almost an extension in basics, to be honest. Because we know we lost out here. But what did Black do? Black created two groups that need to live. One of them got to safety. The other hasn't had another move defending it during this entire exchange. So you're not going to go into the 3-3 and try and take away the points, or you're not going to go into the invasion and try and take away 20 points. They're going to be like, hey, you. Hey, you. Yeah, you. What's up with you? What's up with you? Black says, can I surround you? To be fair, that'd be huge to get this move in. You can imagine this move is a Blackstone. In your mind's eye. Hello. We're not playing with M&Ms. There we go. Actually, there aren't any black. Yeah, there are. Never mind. I was thinking Skittles. This would be huge. So clearly Black is not going, or White is not going to allow Black to extend to the 10th line. Because here... to kind of, hello, to here would just be, would be sad. It would be sad. It would be sad. So, boing. Nice. And has the added benefit, if he gets to extend here, still some pressure. So cool. Don't ignore. Cool. But, you know, there comes a time in every young man's life when you realize you just gotta kill someone. It's true. It's true. Black ran and ran and ran. White defended nicely. But still, no defense. And he's got his eyes now. White's fine. No danger of 10th line being obtained. Maybe here or here. But not 10th. It's not gone crazy. So White says, die. Just die. Just die. And Black, he actually shows why he's top 24. Some amateurs would be tempted to run this out for... hypothetically, let's just say 40 moves before they admit it's dead and resign. But Shinmin Jun's not going to do that because he stopped being Pepega a long time ago. Long time ago. You don't get top 24 if you're still playing that way. Not that players on Fox would know anything about that. So what he does, I can't run it out. But, you know, it'd be pretty sick if it could go somewhere. Kill it off. Kill it off. You can see immediately the idea. Kill it off. This corner will be a lot smaller than all of this stuff, right? If, like, this is obtained. Like, dude. That'd be great, you know? No choice. You have to stop it. You have to stop it. Can't let it run away. So we double tap it. If you don't double tap it, just, you know, really quickly, you've got this into here, for example. I mean, I guess you could cut. If you really wanted to, I suppose you could try. But you are going to notice a thing taking place, which is the whole not dying thing, which is a bit of a bummer. And that's just a quick and crude variation. There are many here that would revive this thing. So we double tap it. We're seeing the enclosure occurring. Pokes at the small knight. Can the small knight be cut? Good question to ask before we do anything else. Where's the Aji? White finds black is not being greedy. He's reinforcing the outside. So I only want 10 Qs. Double-digit Qs only. DDKs only. You'll get this. I know you will. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, and you will, is to reduce this. How do we find something to play? How do we go about looking for a move to play to reduce this? What are some, without even looking at this board position, what are some good principles to keep in mind? Slap the resign button. I mean, you could do that. Play sector line. You could play a sector line. Sector lines you could do. If not sector line, then Trevoke is stumbling over the answer. What Trevoke is hinting at here by saying shoulder hit is he wants to keep a low stone low. Right? That's what he wants to do. The low stone here is this one. So you're either shoulder hit it, or you can cap it. Shoulder hitting is committing to one side or the other. Oh, hello? Shoulder hitting is committing to one side or the other. This one's being a little bit more loose. Since black can grow easily either side, I dig the cap rather than a commit. Attaching on top is the aggressive cap, that's true. For all I know, the AI might want the attachment. I haven't actually run this through an AI. Other than to look at the graph. I did look at the graph of the AI to make sure that I was right in admiring White's position, because a lot of this, White was in a pretty decent shape. But I haven't looked at it for moves. Yes, White is reducing. But you don't get top 24 in World just by taking a reduction passively. So first thing Black's going to ask is, do I have Aji? Not looking like it, right? Like, this is where he's going to try to find Aji. And on this whole position, there's two places where we could hunt it down. Here, but we don't really know where the heck that's going to go. And then the small knight. Small knight can be cut, so okay. How about this? What's going on here? White Hanes. Good answer to have. Let's say, for example, I don't know, we played here instead. That would tell Black that he might get this in the future, which is a really good thing to know that you could pull out of your hat. Points here, right? If White curls up into a little ball of defense, then we might have an unexpected amount of good things fall our way. White said no to this. It's okay. Now we're going to go and poke around, attempting to close out the game immediately. If Black lives, White wins. Or, no. If Black lives, Black wins. Black will not win. There we go. So we drop down. Looking for more Aji. And we're going to go over a few variations here in a minute. Extends. Note he is not playing here, for example, and like leaving more Aji behind. That would be what we call a problem. A lot of Aji back in here. So, okay. Nice and solid. Still trying to live. Says no. And then Black calls no joy. Made a few probing moves, but in every instance, White played nice and solidly to disconnect things and minimize the base. So this is solidly territory. This is solidly territory. Though, oh my god, he would be the biggest scumbag in the history of ever if, like, white made a mistake and he actually lived where he wasn't supposed to. IMO. But alright. Falls back. Connects. Finally responds. Some of you are probably thinking, no, stupid, pincer, right? But you actually can't because the attachments are really, really big. Like, if your opponent could just, like, lean here, and that there's a huge gap here, and a huge gap here, and there's still space over there, you aren't killing it. You aren't. You're not. You're not going to kill it. So he has to respond. Finding the next move might be a little hard for Qs, but any Dawn player should. And here's why I say that. Here's why I say that. Black right now is trying to enclose white and take all of this happy territory, right? You know, if you allow that trap to close on you, you're probably gonna die. Which means we cannot give slack moves their place on this board. We gotta play severe. We've gotta squeeze out all of our forcing moves for as long as possible. Which is why we're not playing like a jump or whatever. We're gonna attach. Our opponent colonize in return. We extend. There's now forcing moves that white can use. Otherwise, he's just out and free. So black has to follow. What should be a forcing move, oddly enough, isn't. This is the most complicated part of this game. The urge to connect here first when there's still space here. White's just like, okay, cut me, I don't care. I'll still have room. I can make a 2-space, and I can make shape here. So, it's not a problem. So black says you can't get that. Because, I mean, yeah, if we played like anything else, I don't know, poke through here maybe. While moves like this are still on the board, like, we're not killing anything, right? Does anybody think they could actually kill this on this board? Probably not, right? Highly unlikely. There's a lot of moves here at this point. Oh, my nose is driving me insane. So, all right, block the base. We now have a table shape. Getting poked. Okay. Getting poked. Okay. At this point, some of you are probably getting nervous. But you don't actually have to get nervous. This looks like, ooh, we're getting surrounded. Scary, scary, scary. But it's only if your sense of shape is trash. I mean that in a nice way. Because really quickly, black plays here. But let's say he doesn't. Let's say he plays here. Keep him from escaping, right? Here's the thing. We still have forcing moves here. We still have a flat-out kill on this. And we're not even disconnected here yet for our eye. Once you realize that, it's not scary, you know? It'd be a little bit scarier if, like, these things were connected to something. But at that point, it'd be an entirely different game, you know? If, like, all of these stones were connected, nice and solid, so there was no odd G to work against, then I'd be like, yeah. While white got up and used the bathroom, black played a whole bunch of moves on the board, and white's dead. Might want to Might want to talk to a TD about that. But all of these are disconnected. Going back here, disconnected. They can be forced to connect, but that act of being forced to connect is going to ensure you're not in trouble. So, okay. Black plays here, more points. Still, not even giving a crosscut available. No AG. Goes for attempted murder. And we see the first forcing move. And then the next forcing move. And then surrounding. At this point, I'm not saying he did it intentionally. I wouldn't say this. Not saying it's unintentionally. I'm just saying that white's kind of making a smiley face in the middle of the board. It's accidental, I'm sure. But, I mean, I'm just saying it's there. That's all I'm saying. He's happy with his life. Lee Changho, professional troll. Maybe. Unfortunately, there it goes. Go is art? Indeed. This was a happy little accident. Poke. Now, this should probably die, but it's useful for reasons you'll see in a minute. Still trying to reduce, get things done. Nope. Poking on in. Ooh. I admit this next part does require knowledge of shape. Step 1, you threaten to connect. Only problem is he's not threatening to connect, is he? This is more than it, isn't it? Can you guys already see it? Some of you who are really, really good with shape, your spidey senses are tingling. You're like, wait a minute. If black continues to try to attack white, he's trying to attack him with a small knight and a 2-space extension and an elephant eye. That's some weird shape he's trying to attack him with, huh? Hey, that's some weird shape he's trying to attack him with. That doesn't sound strong. That kind of sounds like a wet noodle if I've ever heard one. Poke. Threaten to cut. Connect. Can I kill you? No. Can I kill you? No. Can I kill you? No. Can I make 2 eyes? You might not be able to even make 1 there, laddie. Black really wants to kill white. He's a jerk. What can I tell you? He's a jerk. Can I cut you? No. You can't. Can I connect up? No. You can't. As I said, he's a jerk. This is probably time Suji, just so we're clear. The reason why I keep playing down here. At this point, this late in the game, they're in Biyoyomi, and he's borrowing periods. So, you can forgive these. You can forgive these kind of moves. We're human. Need to do it to borrow some more time to think. It's no problem. But yeah, with that extension, black has thrown down the gauntlet. It's like, I'm gonna kill you. But he can't. His shape doesn't allow for it. His shape just doesn't allow for it, does it? So what does he do? He plays the Hane. Because there's a cut point. And that's a 2-space. It's just basic shape recognition. Basic shape recognition. He's like, don't cut me. Like, he has to do that one, right? And then white's like, hey, you. That's a 2-space. He tries to work against it, and it's easy to make a mistake here. I admit. It's easy to make a mistake here. Can be done. Can be done. It's true. It's true. Plays the Atari. Connects. Throws in. And it's at this point that a lot of you aren't going to have any idea why this is a resignation move. Why on earth did black resign here? That unfortunately requires a little bit of reading and understanding just how terrible black's shape here is. Because you're going to say, why? He's an idiot, right? Like what? Is he going to play here and do this one? Who cares, right? Looks like it's fine. The problem, though, unfortunately, is there's more problems on this board than you think. This cutting point there is also regrettably an issue. Because he might be like, no, it's not. He can play here now. And you could be forgiven for thinking that. But first, I would ask you humbly what your answer to the cut is. Is it this? Is it this? The ladder doesn't work. It's a bit of a problem, huh? You could connect here, I guess. But that just died and the whole corner just vanished. You could say, oh, darn it, Shin Min Jun, he got lucky. Lee Changho did. If only that ladder didn't work. Right? But no, not really, because even if the ladder didn't work, this would just die. The fact that the ladder does work is fun. Does it have to? No, not really. No. Doesn't have to. That it does is cool. It's icing on the cake. But not the worst thing in the history of ever. And again, it's just shape. There's a cut point here. There was a small knight here. There was a 2-space here. Like, white didn't do anything really complicated this game until he had to pull out his reading to fight against black trying to connect up unreasonable shape. Then he had to pull out a little bit of his reading. True. And a little bit down here just to ensure that these stones that shouldn't ever have any chance to live did in fact stay dead. You know? But overall, it was remarkably calm. He got 3-3'd. Okay. Build a wall and go to. Who cares? Not pulling out the new variations. Just going to relax. Just going to relax. Make the wall and go tag. Made sure. Grab little enclosure. Grab some points off his wall. Easy peasy. As we discussed here. Make sure you profit from it. Secure your territory against reduction. Take the big points because now you're flashing up to 50 with Comey. Which is fine. You know? We're in mid-game. Attack the weakest group, which is this one. Pog, we got an unexpected disconnection. Once you get Sente and your group safe, make sure you put pressure on the weakest one that wasn't defended. Don't be surrounded. Finish it off when you got Sente. Make sure the group can't come back to life, because that'd be sad. And then reduce in textbook fashion. If your opponent tries to do anything completely cracked out of his head, like kill a completely reasonable invasion, make sure your shape is your knowledge of shape is pretty good. And you don't get killed. Nice and basic against a top 24 player. Against a top 24 player. I like Lee Changho's games because of this. Right now, he's the one pro that you can still look up that does not do the new variations. He doesn't do them. He doesn't do them. If you want simple ways of handling them, you can. I mean, he doesn't win all of his games. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he does. You know? But he took out Shin Min-jun, which is great. He did lose to Cho Cha-han recently, which was a little bit sad. But that game was surprising because it didn't feature... It looks like Cho Cha-han actually attacked Lee Changho his old style. He didn't do like all the new stuff with the new Joseki. To take Lee Changho out, he went away from that and played kind of similar to how he played initially when he dethroned him in the beginning. So that was kind of fun to see. So yeah, I'm looking at a lot of Lee Changho games lately. Which is weird, because for a while it was like not that, but it is again. You know? Anywho, hope you enjoyed this game. And as always, I'll see you next time.